Hey, yo, this is your boy, Sirr, of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC. And I got a question. What do you do it for? Do you do it for the likes? Do you do it for family? Or do you do it just to be seen? Well, how about this Black History Month? You do it for the culture. That's right. Our family here at Shop Black Renaissance has decided to be the official sponsor of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. So do me a favor. Whenever you go to shopblackrenaissance.com, I need you to use the promo code LLC20 so you can get 20% off your order. Yep, that's it. Doing it for the culture all year. Thank you. Shop Black Renaissance Clothing.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a pick of the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay solid just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dough. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Sparkling water.
It's flavor without the sugar, so I can eat some king cake.
Ooh.
It's been nonstop in the office.
Oh,
Nonstop.
the last time I had king cake, I think was like 2 years ago. It's been a minute.
What?
Yeah.
The last time I had king cake was at 5:10 when I was leaving the office. I'm not gonna hold you.
God.
Mhm.
Man. Yeah, we got 2 people in so far. What up? What up? Thank you for joining. We finna get to talking about this thing in a second. Let me just make a quick post. Damn. All right, cool. Bet we in a.
Oh yeah, I just got the notification.
Hey, there we go. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Sirr, of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC, of course. You know how that goes. And I'm joined by Jessica Lauren. You know what I'm saying? Squad mate, my girl, my homie. And we came to talk about this. Well, it was sent to my inbox that we need to go ahead and talk about this on SquadGoals. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? So before we even get started, Jessica, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm off work. I ain't had nothing to drink yet, so y'all gonna have to bear with me because I'm on one right now. I'm on one. Malcolm said you heard we was talking about him. Yeah, sort of one of your distant relatives, I think. What up, Lady Crystal? I see you. I see you. So we talking about Malcolm and Marie today, y'all. Now, this movie was directed by Sam Levinson. It stars Zendaya and Denzel's son. John Washington. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was really impressed with John. I saw him in Tenet before this. I don't know if anybody knew about that movie. It was what's the gentleman's name who did the Batman movies? Christopher Nolan.
Oh, Christian Bale?
Well, not Christian Bale. It was Christopher Nolan who directed the film. And
okay, got you.
So Christopher Nolan directed Tenet, and he was in it. Didn't even try to rhyme. But yeah, this stars Zendaya. And if you heard the name Sam Levinson before, that would be because he also writes and directs for Euphoria, which stars Zendaya as Rue, a drug addict teenager, kind of struggling, but That kind of plays into this. If you're familiar with Euphoria, it is very direct, very abrupt as far as with the subject matter, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So anyway, before I get into breaking down the chronological events, I just wanted to get your feedback on what you thought about the movie overall.
Okay, so overall, I thought the actors did an excellent job portraying their characters. I felt that it was believable the way that they really took those characters on. I really liked the cinematography, the black and white, and them just focusing on one location. I don't know if that was COVID influenced, but either way, I liked it. As far as the characters themselves and the storyline, they were intense. Yes. I think specifically Malcolm, he was very intense. And by the way, these are not bad things, and I'll lead up to that. He's very intense, very in touch with his feelings, very expressive. You'll know how he feels. You won't have to second guess what he's feeling at that moment. If he's thinking it, he's gonna say it. I thought that was refreshing because I feel that, especially as men, you all are often told to not feel anything. It's like happiness or anger. And so I appreciated the way he articulated his thoughts and his feelings. I thought that was really important, and I think that should be encouraged more in Black men. As far as Marie, I feel like without realizing it, but maybe she also did realize it, she had a way of kind of controlling him without saying anything.
I agree.
And I do think that she handled him as a person well, because that scene when he was reading the reviews and just on this antic, it was like 20 minutes of bruh just cursing and running back and forth from the bedroom and I can't believe this and fuck this and I'm like, bro, you got a good review. Like, what is wrong?
Right.
But she just sat there on the couch and just listened to him. Every now and then she would interject and say, I think you have a good review. Well, you know, what's wrong with the film being political? She would offer those comments. But for the most part, she just let him be him. I think in the process of letting him be him, like in that scene in the bathtub, I found that they said a lot of things to purposely hurt each other.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And
absolutely.
I'm listening to, there's a podcast that I listen to now, I Am Woman. It's an extension of I Am Athlete. Okay. And they are the wives of the guys that have that podcast. It's, and I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but I'd recommend you check it out. It's Brandon Marshall, Channing Crowder, Fred Jackson, I want to say, and Ocho Cinco. Really good podcast. Okay. They talk about things that's going on within the sports world, life after retirement, family life, juggling, being married, what it's like being married, the ups and downs and the peaks and valleys. And so their wives navigate that as well. And Asia Crowder said today, she was like, if we're, you know, after having gone to therapy together, one thing they learned was to be solution oriented. She said, because if we're just bickering and we're just going just to go, we're not being effective and we're not finding a solution. And the point I'm trying to correlate with the movie is that there was no solution. Because all I'm thinking is, bro, it's 1 a.m. Don't nobody want to put their serum on and go to bed?
And that came up several times. That came up several times in the dialogue, which I appreciate. It felt realistic.
Yes. So I didn't feel like it was very solution oriented. I do feel like there were parts of their dynamic that were endearing and relatable. And then there were other parts that were very concerning. And I wouldn't advise anyone to try to mimic those.
Oh my God. Please. I wholeheartedly agree with you, sis.
Yeah. Can you clear one thing up for me? The ending. Did she just leave him? Because I'm confused.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
And
so my boyfriend just watched the end with me. He was like, bro, did she leave him? And I'm like, I don't know. I was trying to figure out if she left or not too.
I was ready to have that conversation with you. Okay. So let's go back a little bit, because you said a lot, and we're going to kind of pick through it a little bit. So the very first thing when I watched this movie was, like you said, I noticed the cinematography. I'm a film buff. I love movies, black and white. I will love that forever. And going back to the production style of this film, I did read up a little bit on how Sam wanted to do it. This was done in one location secretly over 2 months, in the month of June and July. Sam was not able to do season 2 of Euphoria, so he hit up Zendaya, was like, yo, I got this script that's kind of like a horror movie, but I might make it a drama. Are you down? She said, I ain't doing shit. Let's do it. They hit up John Washington. He read the script and was like, I'm down. And then that June and July, they just filmed it. Didn't tell anybody.
Okay, now I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. I appreciate the fact that they filmed it like a Tyler Perry movie, but it didn't come out like a Tyler Perry movie. Because he threw his shit together.
Right.
It shows.
Yeah. If we're gonna examine the characters real quick, I agree with a lot what you said. One thing I did notice as soon as we started is that how much bravado Malcolm had. He came in home, he was on this high, he's talking his shit, you know what I'm saying? You remember the movie, baby? Did you have a great time, baby? You look good. Like, that was a great movie. It was spectacular. Like, he was on this high.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, okay, right, got you. Like, it was really dry. And she slowly brought him down. And I was like, man, why is she kind of so dry with him? And the more I noticed, there was kind of a recurring loop in this movie of using music, argue, start over. Music, argue, start over. So she went outside. Well, first she went to go pee, which caught me off guard. I wasn't ready to see Zendaya just go pee on film. That caught me off guard. And obviously they're talking after the film premiere. And something that made me laugh was him doing his drunk uncle thing. He was drinking and listening to music, and the nigga jumped on the window pane. I even wrote that down in my notes. I got notes, y'all. I wrote shit down. And I'm like, who the fuck jumps on the window pane? That goes to show how happy he was.
Yeah.
Then it was pretty much, it started to get kind of philosophical with the meaning of art. And this is where I start to see how condescending he was when it comes. He was very snooty or bougie when it comes to art, which I get. We're all passionate about things, but some of the things he went with as far as talking about, I went to college, but I'm not an elitist. I'm not academic, but I went to college. And that stuck with me. And I'm like, do you feel like you need to separate yourself from those who are educated? You know what I'm saying? To give yourself clout. And as it progressed, I started to see like very small hints of the judgmental part of him, especially when it came to her, because there's this scene of her preparing macaroni and cheese. And he's just like, Marie. And this went on for like a full 60 seconds. And it reminded me of, you watch Family Guy? Or have ever seen Family Guy?
Mom. Yeah.
That's exactly the vibe I got. And I'm like, okay, this is a man child. And the further we went down this rabbit hole of him trying to discover what made her mad. But I will say this is what I liked about the script. We didn't even go to the event, right?
Right.
But the way this conversation went, we saw what happened through dialogue.
Very vivid. Very
Very
vivid description. So it felt like we had seen the event without actually seeing it.
right, right. Which kudos to the writing. It turns out that the reason she's so dry is because when he went to give thanks and everything, he did not give credit to Marie. And it turned out this film was Marie's story. And it turns out she was a recovering addict. And people were praising this film, and he praised everyone from top to bottom except the person he got inspiration from. I wanted to know your thoughts on that part specifically as a woman.
Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts on that part.
Okay.
I think she had every right to be upset. I didn't necessarily agree with the way she went about handling it throughout the evening, but I think she had a right to be upset. And it's what I gathered from it is that it seems that she had really been a supportive partner, whether that had been providing creative inspiration. Obviously, she provided creative inspiration because the damn movie was inspired by her and her story. So that's the first thing. And then, clearly I'm assuming they live together. So, just being a partner, making sure the household is running properly, just different types of things that allowed him to put his best foot forward for this film to be the success that it was. So I think, and I want to choose my words carefully with this.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
And I think, I'm not saying that women just run everything. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think that oftentimes the final details of running a household and just I think men are really good at seeing the end result of something and okay, we need to get here. We need to get here. Whereas women, we see the steps along the way to get there. And so I think with that, there's no telling how she had supported him along the way. And so I do think that it was a slight for him to not mention her at all. And to be honest with you, looking at their interaction that evening and paying attention to the things that they said to each other, I don't think it was an accident. I think there was a lot of resentment there. I think he definitely was aware of the fact that she did have a way of manipulating him without saying anything. And then I think she also had resentment for being his creative muse and not getting the proper acknowledgement. Facts. As well as it seemed that they were at this point in their relationship where his career was excelling and hers, I'm not sure what she was trying to do or what she was trying to figure out, but it wasn't excelling at the same level as his. And I'm sure there had been some jabs thrown from her about that, because I think that's unfortunate, but it's not uncommon for that to happen between partners where, you can see your partner excelling and you may feel like your life is at a standstill. And so you feel jealous. By the way, y'all, I'm not endorsing that. I don't think that's healthy at all. I'm just saying that these things can happen in a relationship if you allow them to. And so I think that those things had taken place. And I think he was very well aware of what he was doing by not thanking her. Because if you pay attention, he said a few times, I need something about that I could do all this without you. So I think him not acknowledging her in his speech was a way to be basically like a fuck you. Like, this was all me. I did this.
Correct. Yeah,
And
I agree.
and like a way to separate himself from that. And you said it at the beginning of your character analysis that he came off as very arrogant and wanting to separate himself from certain things. And I think that was his way of doing that by not acknowledging her.
That was deep. That was
Because
deep.
I think as a man, it's like, no, I did this. Nobody's gonna think, no, you're not gonna think my woman helped me with this. I did this. I got this. I got these accolades and these praises from Hollywood. And here, you're gonna stay here. This is where I told you to say you're a recovering addict. Yeah, I got this and this from you, but ultimately I did this.
Fact. There was a lot of that, and once we got that ground, it was so many toxic traits from both of them that really came through dialogue that kept recurring. Just like you said, I got got the inkling that he was doing it on purpose to not acknowledge her when I saw how integral she is to him with basic shit. When they put everything on pause just to check the reviews. Yeah. That was their dynamic. He couldn't find shit, but she was sitting at the table calmly. Did you check the room? Yeah, I checked the room. Did you check the bar? Fuck yeah, I checked the bar. What the fuck you mean, Marie? He goes back into the room and finds his wallet, but doesn't tell her he found the wallet. He says it doesn't matter. And then he goes to look for his phone, which he set down on the table. He just left. And she's just like, Malcolm, it's here. That alone showed me what I needed to know about them. Also, I'm gonna rewind back a little bit. In the beginning of the movie, when they first came in and she was in the kitchen, I kept noticing how he kept complimenting her, but he wouldn't compliment anything but physical attributes.
Yeah.
Everything he stated was like, "You're so fucking beautiful. You're gorgeous. I love you." He kept kissing on her. I thought we was about to see some grocery eating for a second.
I thought so. I was like, they showing this on Netflix? Okay.
I thought he was about to eat them groceries. But I was like, what is he compensated for? Because he's going way too hard on this. It felt like a front. And the more we went in, I started to notice that, hey, she is the muse. I had even wrote that down. It's like she's a trapped muse for him. And she's there because she wants to be, because she likes to be the puppeteer. That's like, no, you're like my child, but my man child. I get to direct you in those directions that you need to do these excellent things. But I thought you would give me props. But him knowing he's being guided, he won't allow her to get those props. Thus the speech, thus him finding his wallet and not telling her, thus him going to her at her rawest moment when she was in that tub. That scene was like, for lack, and I don't mean because of the abuse that was stated in this scene, but I like what it represented. She was naked. She was in the tub. She had said her piece. This was typically when women take a bath for the day. That's it. You're kind of purging everything off. This is you. I'm going to start anew in the morning. This is the end of the night.
Right.
He came in there, sat right next to her, and just unloaded some of the worst shit you could ever say to a woman or a person ever. Dissecting the film in a way that showed that where she thought she had contributions everywhere, she didn't. Some of the influence from past women.
Yeah.
And this was like his fuck you as well. It's like, just when you thought all of this was about you, nah, some of this had to do with some of my other women. The one name I remembered the most was Kiki. It was just the way he said Kiki.
Was she the one who would send him pictures of kids or something that she wanted to have?
I don't remember. Remember.
That really stood out to me.
When that one messed me up because he said she sends me hearts. Well, she sends me pictures of the kids saying that she wished I had kids with her, and I just send her hearts because honestly, I don't know what the fuck to say to that.
You say stop riding me and you block the bitch. Like, what do you mean?
So that part, and when he said the sex part on the bike, and this came from one ex that he did that with in New York, not Italy or whatever. And the look, the intent he did when he was leaning on the tub, staring her eye to eye to relay that information was like, you want to cut me, I'm going to cut you the deepest I can. I'm going to show you exactly where you stand with me. And Jessica, the line that fucked me up, and I don't even know how he was able to say this, was I love you, but I don't need you. And he said it in like a gleefully way, if that makes sense.
Right. And again, he's trying so hard to prove that, because like you said, he knows that he's being controlled, but he wants to show her. But I think he's fighting. First of all, that's unhealthy, the fact that that's their dynamic. Let me just state that. But I think that he's just constantly trying to prove to her, like, I'm here because I want to be here, not because I have to be here, and you don't do anything. And it's very, very unhealthy.
Right. I'm not gonna lie, by that point of the tub conversation, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. When is this gonna end? Because this is really uncomfortable. At first, when I first heard about people speaking about this movie, I was like, it can't be that bad. It's just an argument between two people. Like, it can't be that fucked up. But hearing some of the gaslighting techniques here and some of the disrespect, I can see how this is triggering.
Yeah, and it was triggering for a lot of people.
I totally get it. And something, he for him to be so intelligent, he does such basic shit that I think he thinks is genuinely nice, but he doesn't think it all the way through. No. For instance, the first segment of their argument was done, and she went to go smoke a cigarette, and he sat down, and I thought it was Jaheim at first. I ain't even gonna front. I'm like, is he really gonna play Jaheim? And it was put that woman first, and I'm like, nigga, did you just really do that, bro? After all that, after eating mac and cheese that she made for you and calling her delusional, and there was one part he called her, what was it? A trauma response dog or something like that.
Yeah.
A trauma therapy dog. And I'm like, bro, I feel like you've been better off just calling her a bitch, bro. Like, cause that was like, like that was they just gotten to this point of just examining each other and just picking each other apart, but they would cuddle and kiss in between, and that's the shit I didn't get.
Cause that shit is toxic. It's complete degradation, disrespect, and they just rolling in it.
And one thing, and I'm not taking sides in this shit at all. But one thing Marie did that I really wasn't feeling. It was the personification of ghosting, to show how much he needs her when she just disappeared for no reason. Well, I won't say for no reason, but it was to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? Because she was trying to show that I mean more to you than you allude to, and I'm gonna prove it by disappearing for like a full minute. Right. And he stopped everything he was doing, was looking for her, and she came back to prove that point, and even called him a man child. And that was like round 3. But I think the crescendo for this for me was when she finally asked, why didn't you cast me?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like the response he gave was probably the most misogynistic, toxic thing that is ingrained in us. It's the bullshit that if you just try hard enough, you'll get there. You got to work hard. You gotta just grind it out. You can't show any emotion. You gotta be humble. I can't believe he said that shit. Sometimes you gotta not take credit for shit. I can't believe he said that shit. Sometimes you just gotta put your nose to it and keep going and work with what you got. So you could tell that was bothering her. Right. And it was essentially, it was mansplaining in a bit, like trying to invalidate her feelings of what she went through and why she didn't get cast. And she turned around and did that knife thing. First off, I'm gonna let you have it. What you thought about the knife scene?
That's what I thought about it.
Okay.
That's what I thought about it.
Okay. If we are in a domestic situation and we are arguing, don't run up on me with a knife. I don't give a fuck what your point is.
I think one of my girlfriends told me this in college. Do like this. If you feel like you got to use your hand, do like this. Do like this. Keep it to yourself. Everybody learned about personal space in kindergarten. I think that in those type of situations, that's one of those times you need to remember those lessons, because that could be a weapon. Like, what, if there's no one there to intervene. So if you get to arguing and you get to, like, somebody could die.
That part.
And it don't have to go that far. It does not have to go that far.
I get making a point and I get trying to scare him, but that's too far. I'm not condoning anything that occurred on either side.
Yeah.
But it's like we mentioned earlier, she goes to these extreme lengths to prove a point. But it's like, what are you even proving it for somebody that's not going to recognize you fully? And it showed, because he started giving her praise, kissing her feet, saying how much he hate and love her and all this jazz. And they was back to arguing again. It was, you know what? I feel like when they were kissing on the rug and he had to go pee, and she was so excited and in love and enjoying herself, she about to get some dick, you know what I'm saying? She amped, and he goes to use the restroom, and she looks up, and that moment fades, and she starts crying. And then she asked the question about not being cast, and his response is, I ain't even gonna lie, Jessica, I do that shit all the time. I am guilty of it. When a woman say, can I ask you something? I'm like, what is it now? And I have to get out that mindset.
So is it the fear that you disappointed the woman and you don't know how to deal with that? Or is it just like, I don't want to deal with this right now at all?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. It's a combination of the two, depending on what's going on before. If it's completely out of left field, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this shit right now. If we are already arguing and kind of in the heat, you remember how when you was about to get a whooping, or you had trouble, or when you got home you was gonna get your ass beat or be on punishment or something,
right?
You know, that stomach feeling, that sinking feeling, that's what we get.
Okay. I just had a thought. So I think when that part of the scene, when she started crying and she asked him that question, I think they use affection and physical intimacy as a way to avoid their real issues. So I think when they were about to be intimate and then he got up and stopped, she really had time, because they had been screaming at each other the whole damn night. So she finally had time to think about why she was really upset, along with not being acknowledged, because I do think that was a genuine feeling. But I think when he got up and stopped what they were about to do, I think that was her moment to really reflect on, okay, I'm really upset about this, and this is why. And then, of course, he responded in the way that he did.
Hmm. Okay. So I have a question as a woman. There was a particular line, and I'm going to paraphrase, and it stuck out to me, and it goes a little bit back up. She says, "How come when I'm hugged up on another man, you don't say anything?" It's like, and he's like, "You're jealous," and she's like, it's not jealousy. It's like borderline indifference, which is worse." What do you think about that?
I think again, that's another way to. I think he's trying his best to have control over his emotions in terms of how he feels about her, which as an adult, you should have control over your emotions. You should be emotionally healthy and have emotional intelligence. But I think ultimately he doesn't. I don't think they possess that within their relationship or as individuals. So I think that was another way for him to say, I don't really care. They can have you. I know where you'll be. You'll come back. And
Right.
that's what I think about that.
That's
I mean, what
that's
what
tough.
what are your thoughts on that as a man? Like, is that something you would be indifferent about with your significant other?
I look, I'm a Leo. I'd have an issue with it. I'm not going to sit here and try and play like I'm not without faults and flaws. I have a streak of jealousy sometimes, depending on the incident. If it's like a big night, like, and it's about us. Well, in this instance, me. And he mentioned, "I'm looking for you," and I didn't see you. But she mentioned she was on the arm of another man. Now, given their history of him even admitting, even when you fuck that other nigga, I was still here with your ass. I was still here waiting on you. And so I could understand the vulnerable part of him not wanting to acknowledge it, but I understand the shady part of him wanting to clap back in a public setting by not, thanking her on this biggest momentum day of his. It made me really think because he mentioned that the shit that she went through was while they were together somewhat, some of it.
Okay.
When she had the knife, she was telling him how she fucked his friends. I'm wondering.
I just had a flashback to soul food.
Okay.
Remember when Lim came in her salon?
Right. Right. So it's so much. Oh man, oh god. I get narcissistic vibes from both of them. I get sociopathic vibes from him. His ability to go to someone and bring up the worst shit about them and make them feel like less than nothing. And then kiss them like nothing happened the very next instant. It's like, where are your emotions with the world? Like, you love this woman?
But I think the unfortunate thing is that some people do operate that way, and that's what they interpret as love.
That was exhausting. That makes my head hurt, and that makes me fearful. That makes me absolutely fearful.
Right, because we only witnessed an hour and 45, 50 minutes of that, but some people live that daily.
At the end, she disappears. I don't know if she leaves. We couldn't tell either from everybody I've talked to. We don't fucking know. It just ends. At the end, I wrote this down. She likes his chaos and she's amused at his discontent.
Yes.
So it's like she enjoys the fuckery that he stirs about around them because it's their fuckery in a way. I know that might sound crazy, but it's what they do, is what they share. And I think she's excited to be in that position to pull the strings whenever she wants, no matter how damaging they are to her. She still can trigger him at any moment she wants. So I don't know who's truly in power in this toxic mess of a relationship.
And I think for some reason, I think he likes the chase and the fact that she is so elusive and untamable. So I think that draws him in. Because she has those characteristics. So it's like he's constantly in pursuit of her. I don't think he would be content with a woman that, not at this point in his life, I think the nigga need therapy. They both do. But I don't think he would be content with a woman that just loved him and wanted to just love him and be in a healthy relationship. I don't think that would appeal to him.
Oh no, absolutely not. He's mentioned that you're not the first broken woman I've been with before. Like it's like he targets that, you know, in a way which is scary. So women, be careful. You know what I'm saying? There are some manipulative people out there like this, and the fact that he held
link up. I think spirits link up.
Oh God, yes. Oh, God, I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, I think spirits they can recognize those things because we're operating in flesh, but the spirits, they can see that, and that's what they're like. You attract what you're ready for.
Facts.
So Facts. I think that's the case for them, and I think he likes broken women because he's arrogant and he doesn't seek to have a partner that's his equal or that he feels exceeds him, because that would damage his ego. So he needs to be in control and feel that he is the one getting all the attention and all the accolades. And so even if his partner has a mild accomplishment, which is why he didn't cast her, I can't let her shine. This night needs to be about me.
Fact, even though it's her story.
Right. Even though it's her story. So he needs that to feel validated, and so his ego stays intact.
Self-preservation. That's maddening. Yeah, that this movie was a trip. It was I'm not gonna lie, my favorite part when it got really good is when she mentioned the nail scissors and you know what I'm saying, like throwing things back at him that he said that was fucked up about her suicide attempts. Man, this movie, I low-key had to stop a few times and like get up and like walk around.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I to anybody who watched this in one sitting, kudos. I couldn't do it. I
watched half last night and then the other half today because I was like, this is kind of a lot.
Right. And you mentioned spirits that are like kind of link up and find each other. I have wrote down a line, but I wasn't going to bring it up because I get a lot of flack for speaking spiritually, but I'm just going to put it out there.
Speak freely.
They were speaking in spells the entire movie, like literally casting curses. Think about that. Yes, they were casting curses on each other the entire movie, telling her how she isn't shit, gonna be shit. She, you know what I'm saying? The ending he put in the movie is that she committed suicide. And this was her story.
Oh my God. I didn't even,
So, okay. So the entire movie is them, you know, in the Bible he speaks, it pretty much says it's life and death in the tongue. And this was just knives back and forth. And I really think now with what you said about him finding a woman that's on his level, I think that's why he went so hard on that the white girl who did a review on him. is because it's the fact that this white woman, who's a woman, has something to say about me that wasn't perfect. Even though she said it was a masterpiece of a film.
Right. He skipped over that. He heard the soundbite. And that was it. Because I think ultimately he has a disturbing relationship with women in general. I don't think he likes women. I think he feels that women are here to serve him and sleep with him and uplift him, but I don't think he actually likes women.
Yo. Okay, I agree with you there because he said something that was out of the way early in the film. She brought up the woman actress and how he gave her accolades. And she was like, you talked about it so much. He's like, I ain't sleep with her. And she was like, I ain't say that. And I was like, what? Like, come on, bro. Like, no, bro. No, bro. It was like he assumed that that's what she was assuming, but she wasn't even talking about that. So he was essentially telling on himself. So I do think he slept with the actress.
I think so too. I thought that at several points.
Oh man. So, but anyway, this film, if you ain't watch it, I completely understand. It is the equivalent of watching two messy people go at it badly. And I would have called the police had I heard like 30 minutes of this shit.
Yeah.
They need to
have neighbors like that. So.
Ooh. You know what? My neighbor right now upstairs does this with his girl. And we keep calling the police, and hopefully she just realizes her worth and gets up out of that, Carl. Gets up out of that. But that being said, Jessica, any closing words or anything you wanted to give a shout out or want to put out your social or anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if the film was triggering for anyone based on past experiences, I'm really sorry about that. If it's triggering for things that you are dealing with currently, don't think by any means that you have to stay somewhere where you are not being treated the way you should be and being uplifted. Life is long, and it's just not worth it spending it that way. So I do want to say that. And yeah, if you want to find me on social media, it's styled by _Jessica Lauren. I'm a fashion and wardrobe stylist based here in New Orleans. So check me out. I'm working on some things for the spring, new segments, collaborations, all that good stuff. We're going to be in a new season. We got the vaccine out. Hopefully soon outside will be open back up. So
go to sit down.
Yeah, you got to sit down right now, though, y'all. Don't be out marching on Tuesday.
All right, and also, in case you didn't know, I actually interviewed Jess not long ago, and the interview is up on our YouTube page. So go and check it out. She said some inspirational stuff. If you need some positive energy after watching this damn movie, definitely go check out her interview. It is full of light and aspirations, and this woman's amazing, y'all. She is.
Thank you. And check out, everybody needs to check out your other business mindset interviews, because I was listening to them today as I worked, and everybody is really inspirational. I love the young ladies out of California that wrote the children's book, the guys out of Orlando, the singer out of Mobile. Like, there's, as much darkness as there is in the world, there's a lot of light, and there's a lot of people doing great things and putting good energy and good resources out into the world. So I encourage people to just seek out those type of things, not this kind of shit. Not any of them.
Right. And I'm always a proponent of you are what you eat. And that doesn't mean just with your mouth, that is with your eyes and your mind. So surround yourself with some positivity if you're feeling down and out. And also, if you are a victim of, domestic situations, domestic violence, do not be afraid to reach out to someone. There are plenty of locations that you can use if you need assistance or if you feel like you're in danger. If you don't feel comfortable contacting us, you can contact us anonymously via email, and we will have someone contact you with, information, to make sure that you or someone else is safe. So we definitely want to be a proponent of that. But that being said, This has been your boy, Sir Jessica Lauren in the building. That's my own girl right there, y'all. And we are out. Enjoy yourself. Go get something to drink. Don't watch this shit. Go end on a positive note.
Yeah. Good night, y'all.